Thanks for staying with us. So, we have the General Manager, Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Dolapo Fasawe, to discuss with us different forms of environmental pollution and hygiene problems confronting our society today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, you were in the papers very recently, where you were there inspecting and closing down and shutting down different communities. I was like, what is happening in Lagos State concerning pollution? Because I know that your agency is very keen on ensuring that we eradicate pollution across the state. Tell us what you've seen, what you've observed, and what you're doing to solve this issue of pollution.
Thank you, Mariah. First of all, I would like to define what air pollution is. Air pollution is when we have dangerous substances in the air. It could be made of gases, particles, chemicals, and when we're exposed to this, or when the environment is exposed to this, it's called air pollution. Now, there's the ambient air, which is just supposed to be pure oxygen. Unless we're in a bubble, nobody gets pure oxygen. So our everyday activities, traffic, industrialization, you know, just regular business, cooking at home, fossil fuel burning, generators, if not managed well, cause air pollution.
Yeah. So someone would say that Lagos State and maybe Rivers State will be like the most, the two states that are the most polluted air pollution because of the lot of industrial activities that happen within those states as compared to the other states. You know, the traffic, the traffic congestion, and then in Rivers, you know, in Rivers State, people have complained of soot, but we're talking Lagos State now. So people would like, in doing my regular duties or doing my regular business, these things will happen. How are you asking me now to perform my duties, to chase my livelihood, while paying attention to how the air is polluted and why I should keep it clean?
Okay, so there's indoor air pollution, there's outdoor air pollution. As regards outdoor air pollution, industrial, there's something called source apportionment. We have realized from studies in Lagos that most of the pollutants come from traffic, emissions from traffic.
Yeah.
In developed countries like the UK, it's from industrialization, from manufacturing. And however, if a car is in a good and perfect condition and the fuel is being combusted totally, I'm trying to just be simple.
Yes.
A car should not pollute the air. But you know that thing they say, when your silencer is bad and you see white smoke, a car should not emit white smoke. Yes, or black. Neither should a generator do that. Okay. So we can go about our normal duties, our normal day-to-day activities without polluting the air. And recently, the world is even moving towards cleaner energy.
Yes.
As a source of power. To power your car, to power your generator. I'm happy to say I went to Promasido yesterday, and their whole system is powered by gas. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes. And when you look at what they do there, just look up in the sky. The sky is blue. Wow. The air is clean. That's a typical example of going about your regular business.
Wow.
With clean energy.
Yeah. So my fear now is, you know, we've talked about, I think it was in the papers yesterday, that the price of gas will soon increase. So we're speculating before December it will get to 10,000 naira. And most people will likely fall for cooking gas now. Most people will now fall back to the use of coal and firewood. And we are still talking about clean energy. How do you ever think that we will get there?
Okay, we're getting there. Lagos State as a government is already halfway through. I'm happy to announce that most of our buses are hybrid. What do I mean by hybrid? They use half gas, half diesel. Even in LASEPA, we have a car currently now that we're using to run a pilot. It's been hybrided. It uses half gas, half diesel, petrol. of petrol. Wow. And we've run a cost-benefit analysis, and even in terms of safety and how often we have to service the car, we have saved almost 70% of how much, yes, we used to spend on fuel in the past 6 months.
Is it a Nigerian-made car? Or?
Oh, yeah. Like Nissan Bus, and there are engineers in town now who can hybrid your car for you. But it is not cooking gas that fuels that gas, that car. We have LPG, we have CNG. And before we go out there and say, hybrid your cars, make sure you use gas, these things have to be available and affordable. Yeah. Right. In terms of cooking gas, I don't think anyone who understands the concept of air pollution should go back to coal. I will tell you, when you burn coal, you emit carbon monoxide, you emit some substances, NO2, SO2, just chemical substances that harm you. Most people in the villages, when they cook with coal and wood, they do it in the open space. So diffusion happens. But in a city like Lagos, it would be really appalling to know that people are going back to coal in spite of the dangers of coal.
I grew up here, and I've seen what hardship can make.
Yeah.
We cooked with sawdust, we cooked with coal. You don't even want to imagine. I know a family that cooks with plastic on the coal to make it when it's cold. So let's not
cooked.
Use those days.
Those days.
So I would do that today because maybe I've deliberately insisted on better options. But for some, hardship will still push them back. I wanted to talk about enforcement because, you mentioned Promasido. This is a company whose choice it is to maintain environmental standards internationally. But we have some industries in residential areas continuously putting people at risk, running their businesses, taking the boats out of the communities where they practice, and leaving the people to deal with the environmental issues that they create. How much of enforcement is LASEPA doing? And how do you restrict the companies? Do you give them a period of time within which they must change their policies to conform? What exactly do you do, and why do we still see them?
Okay, so Mariah just said we were in the papers recently, shutting and sealing and, I want you to picture a Ikorodu at 11 a.m. It's like Hamatan, because we have a lot of steel smelting factories. We encourage recycling, but not at the expense of human health and the environment. Just last week, we did a reconnaissance on Ikorodu and its activities. Because we have air quality monitors, I'm also glad to say that in collaboration with the World Bank, for the first time, we have 6 air quality monitors in Lagos State. We have 1 in LASEPA building, we have in Ikorodu, we have in Unilag, we have in Jankara on the island, we have in Alimosho and Amuru, all World Bank funded. Okay. And this machine kept telling us, it does something called source apportionment. It tells us where is most polluted and where this pollution is coming from. No, it's Ikorodu. It kept spiking at Ikorodu, and it wasn't rocket science to realize that it was the steel manufacturing industries. Oh. And as we speak now, all iron and steel smelting industries in Ikorodu have a stop work order.
Okay.
Absolutely stop work. And for viewers, if you live around there and you see any furnace still emitting soot, please contact us at LASEPA. They're all on a stop work order, and we have a meeting to chart the course forward. Like she said, it can't happen in a day. But if you are polluting 100%, you can reduce it to 60% and give me an action plan time-bound as to when you will deal with this situation. And what causes this pollution, really? It's people trying to find shortcuts to make money. When you smelt iron on itself, by itself, it shouldn't pollute the air. But, you know, scraps, when they collect, they have to sort it. Think of a wheelbarrow. It has plastic, it has tires, but it's still metal. Now, if you put all these things in the furnace that is supposed to smelt iron, the byproducts of burning plastic. That is what we see. That is what causes that black and that hazy smoke we see. And toxic substances also are emitted into the air, are passed out. But I think the guys that work in this industry understand that, because even before COVID, they would wear nose masks. But the emission, the environment is the only thing that binds us all together in the world. It doesn't stop in the factory.
Let's talk about because you've seen this. I mean, I want to stay on this a bit, because there are people listening to you right now in Kurudu, they're watching, and they've been taking in this air for years. And thank God the government is saying, listen, they've down tools. But what are the effects of these inhaling of these harmful substances in the air? And I don't know.
Can we add our home generators to that as well?
Oh, yes.
Because sometimes we are inhaling our neighbors. The pipe is in your compound and you're inhaling your neighbors.
Monoxide is coming through it. So, what are the health risks on this?
I'm not about to scare anyone, but there's acute, that's like short exposure to air pollution. Your lungs will defend you and you'll be fine. But chronic exposure, everyday exposure, the health effects, I will tell you, a World Bank study conducted in Lagos 2018 showed us that 48% of people that died of association with air pollution in Lagos. And out of this 48%, almost 90% of them are children under 5.
Oh, Lord.
So when we start to see acute respiratory tract infection, asthma, bronchitis, allergies, eye itching, nose running, these are all effects of what our body is exposed to. But it even goes further than that. Some of these substances are carcinogenic, cancer-causing substances. If you're exposed to it long enough without you're doing something, moving away or calling the Environmental Protection Agency, that's when you see, oh, Alaji never smoked in his life. How come he has lung cancer? It could be his occupation, health hazard. It could also be something he's been exposed to. So the health impacts are innumerable, uncountable. Even in traffic, if you look at bus conductors, even their skin, you can tell. I don't know about fresh.
I know that for violators, you could give that a no work, stop work order. But where do you take it from there? After the stop work order, what are some of the measures that, or some of the punishments that you give to companies like this to deter others from following suit? Because we hear closure after a bit, that organization, that company reopens again. What do you do to ensure they don't try it again?
Okay, so with LASEPA in Lagos State, there's something called Environmental Management Plan, which we ask you to bring when you have committed an infraction. An infraction is something wrong against the environment. And let me use the steel industries as my example. We have a meeting in 2 days where I'm going to ask them to bring the environmental management plan. It's as simple as ensuring you sort your waste, you sort your steel, It's as simple as servicing your furnaces. It's as simple as, you know, that cylinder that goes up in the air. There's something called stacks. It's like nets that would take out particulate matters. It's expensive. People try and bypass all of that. But we don't only give instructions, we monitor. We have zonal offices. We have a zonal office in Ikorodu. We have air quality, handheld monitoring devices. If you do not keep within the acceptable standards, you'll be sealed indefinitely because there's just no compromise.
There's a dump site.
I'll come to you. Let me take this call. Hold it forever. Kalu, are you there? Thanks for calling. Oh, we lost her. Go ahead, Nima.
Sorry,
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Kalu. Go ahead. You're live.
Morning, good morning.
Yes, morning.
I appreciate this morning pollution of the mother. It has been here for one time, and I'm so excited. Madam, I just want to tell you that the government should stop pressing people to the wall. Let me just touch you the area of the case under the bridge. During Fasola regime, the street light we use here in Lagos, we have an generator set that run it out. A heavy pollution is going on. If you are mentioning things, Ikorodu or some part of area, even your house, even your area, there is no possibility in this country, even if you like, close the factory that they bring back, people that work there, take care of their children.
It's hard to hear you. So you're saying Ikeja, which I want to hear you clearly. Please speak a bit slower. The line is not very clear. Mr. Kalu? Oh, it wasn't clear. Did you do anybody to speak what he said?
Yeah.
Well, he was complaining about a certain area, I think, Ikeja.
So there's no place
the
in
whole place in Lagos State is polluted.
So
Nima was going to ask a question.
Yeah, so dump sites, environmental gas emissions that happen at dump sites is something that I find dangerous. But we still operate dump sites even in Lagos. Is there an alternative or plans in future to maybe sort of find a way to recycle environmental friendly ways? Then there's also the issue of people burning. I remember back in BRF government, it was law in Lagos that you cannot be burning at the roadside. If you come along Mile 2, you can just see a haze of dark smoke because some people are supposedly picking bottles in just after Agboju between First Gate, and they carry out burning that will just darken everywhere. Who goes around these people? Number one, stopping them and then enlightening them on the dangers of what they do. Because not only does it cause environmental pollution, but once we are driving early in the morning, that can cloud your screen and you miss anything.
Okay. The truth is, government cannot do it alone. We do not have the human resource to put to put people in each local government to start looking out for air pollution. We encourage people to report. And these 6 machines we have is to assist in that reporting objectively. But for Lagos, we would need about 40 to be able to cover everywhere and say, you have polluted and I have evidence, verifiable scientific evidence. And what do we do? If you tell us that a certain area of Lagos, in fact, Ikorodu was not from complaints. It was from what we picked up on the machines. Tell us, we would go there and find out what is causing this pollution. And saying during BRF's time is a little bit
Then, yes.
perturbing because the law is still the law.
It's still here now.
The law has not changed. We operate on LASEPA 2017, updated law. And the law says it is an offense to burn anything in the open air or to dispose of refuse in an environmentally unfriendly way. It is also an offense to recycle without being accredited as a recycler by agencies like LASEPA, Lagos State Waste Management Agency. So you can't just put plastics together and smelt and say you are recycling.
Let me take this call from Olatunji Zelagbado. Good morning, Olatunji. Are you there?
Good morning,
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Please, what is LASEPA doing to all these people playing along the road? They like some phone sellers. They will put their
noise pollution.
Something on the road.
Speaker.
Advertising, come and buy phone, deposit. Deposit your money.
Yes. Thank you.
What is
So there's noise pollution. People wake up at 5:30 in the morning. People are praising. Come on, give your life to Christ. Those on the roads. We have those who are calling to come and do, buy medications, all sorts in the buses, on road, in public places.
So I want to be specific now. LASEPA's law, section 182, subsection 1 and 2, says it is an offense to propagate your beliefs, advertise your goods, or pass a message with an amplifier in a public space.
Wow.
Wow. Are you sure?
And it is punishable by a fine or a time in jail. I'll tell you a nice story. You all know LASEPA has been dealing with noise pollution.
Yes.
There's a certain organization who they go out every morning to evangelize. Everyone has a freedom to speech. Everyone has a freedom to preaching.
Yeah.
But you don't have a freedom to use a microphone in Lagos State. And after shutting down this very massive church, and the general overseer would not give me an abatement plan, he would not give me a noise management plan, it stayed short. And we had to sign an agreement, MOU, binding by law, that none of your members would go out. Time-bound, though, we gave them about 8 weeks. After 8 weeks, please, if anyone sees anyone with reflector jackets and microphone, call LASEPA. LASEPA, at LASEPA official, that's our handle. And we have phone numbers that we're going to scroll down. Or visit our website. We have CRM where you can upload what you are saying and send to us. There's also City Monitor that the Ministry of Environment is launching. It's an app. You just download it. It can help you catch infractions, and you can report anonymously.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so, listening to you, I wonder how many times are you back and forth in court with different organizations?
Oh, the truth is, they don't even wait to go to court. Nobody wants to be labeled as a polluter.
Ah.
And when LASEPA, without fear or prejudice, when we stop whatever you're doing, you're not comfortable because it's at times a money-making venture or a calling or something. So they don't wait till court.
Yeah.
So do you do jingles?
Yeah, so
Because your
jingles
jingles should be out there informing.
Yes,
because the laws you've reeled out now are almost silent.
Oh, no, we get about 1,000 complaints a day.
The complaints in my environment come to me.
Educating people.
But you see,
so we understand
my own
punishment.
religion says, go into the world and preach the gospel.
Without microphone.
So we have to preach.
Microphone.
Did they say shouty into the
So the issue is not the preaching. The issue is the microphone.
Yeah, so my own also is...
So there's also something called
preaching.
a sound permit for the last caller.
Okay.
Sound permits. We permit you to exceed acceptable decibels. But over a period of time, that's exceeding the acceptable decibels is measured. Those people that advertise phones, they come to us to get a sound permit. And it is time-bound. You can only do it for 4 days or 1 week, and you must not exceed this. In fact, we have some of our staff stay there to monitor what they're doing. And in developed countries as well. I mean, we can't expect the air to be quiet and still.
Yes.
We want entrepreneurship, we want businesses. You see people by tube stations playing their music asking you. But you
Salt-
will notice
salt to the ear.
it doesn't
Block the
disturb
ears.
you.
Yes, because
Some even use microphones, and policemen are around. But the volume is monitored, they know it's constant. It's a long battle. We will continue to fight.
So because of the effect we know of pollution on our health, what I want you to talk more on the educating part. You know, we understand punishment it comes, but even as regular, normal indigenes of Lagos State, people that reside in Lagos State, what are the things I can put in place right now? Like in my estate, on Sundays, no form of construction work or anything is allowed within the estate. So I can see people trying to take those tiny steps within their smaller communities. What else can we do?
Well, that's very encouraging. As a matter of fact, the laws of Lagos State, in terms of noise pollution and particulate matter, the law of LASEPA says you cannot construct after 7 p.m. Yes. And if you're constructing, you have to have a safety net. So this, not soundproof, safety net.
Protect the
You cannot
particles.
build without making noise. But those particles should stay within your area, and that's why you wear goggles, masks, and so the education really is itself. You have to protect yourself. It's like Corona. If you notice that there's massive outdoor pollution around you, report and protect yourself. Shut your windows. Use your air conditioners. Indoors, also make sure you have cross ventilation. There's something called cross ventilation. Because there's indoor air pollution from cigarette smoking, from burning coal and wood. So those stories of a whole family died after eating amala, but there's one generator and all the doors are closed. That's carbon monoxide poisoning, not the amala.
Let me take this call and hold in. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, there.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Morayo.
Go ahead, Mrs. Benson.
Oh, yes, I said good morning, Morayo.
Morning.
Yesterday, I was actually right in front of TVC. Please, I really want you to look at what is happening on the CMD road. Please pay a particular attention to the guys there from the local government. And I want to use this opportunity to call out. I want to use this opportunity to call out the local government chairperson, Bolanle Bada. I don't know whether she's part of the people sending her voice to CMD Road. By the time you son or do anything on CMD Road, you are being harassed. And that is highly unfair. People exploiting people, collecting money from people. And exactly what happened yesterday, I was out with my car and I saw a lady called Kachi being molested, being harassed by the guy. I told my driver to turn back. And I went straight to them. And I could recognize some familiar faces there.
Oh, we lost that call. Mrs. Benson would definitely like to reach you again. She's complaining about something that happened on CMD, pretty close by here. Harassment. We have to find out from the local government to see what's going on with her boys.
Can we take some comments?
We have to take a few comments on this. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Molu says, during the COVID-19 lockdown, I monitor air pollution on CNN for several cities worldwide. For the first time in many years, Lagos, that was always on red color, started achieving green color, which is very good for the first time for many months. Yes. I always monitor that report. That's giving you people credit for doing your work. But then...
No. Let me tell you what happened. In fact, we had a webinar right after that. And I had to ask a question. Must we have a pandemic to have clean air and blue skies? I don't know if you followed.
I follow.
So I just said that the highest emitter of pollution or pollutants and particulates matter in the air is traffic. Yeah. So what had happened was there was no movement.
People were indoors.
The generators in the clubs and restaurants were on the down low. In fact, not only clean air, birds were coming out to play.
Yeah.
Yes, I was hearing chirping.
They were making fun of me when I would come on the show and say, have you guys noticed the blue skies, the green trees?
Oh,
I was like, oh, Miriam has come again. It was so obvious.
Did happen. But we don't need a pandemic for that to happen. In fact, Nigeria had an index of 1. Lagos, one of the best in the world during that time. Because the governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was very strict on that stay at home, don't come to work.
We're running out of time.
Is there
something I want to ask you?
Most people are talking enforcement.
A lot of awareness in local languages, playing over and over, so that people are sensitized on how to avoid this sort of pollutions and how they can easily report, companies around them that emit pollution.
Because of time, I will join a question so you can add, because I don't want you to leave without answering this question. It's going to be a difficult question, but try to answer it. In this area where you said that it's highly polluted, there are schools there, there are children, and you told us the percentage for the 48%, of which quite a number of them are children under 5. If I'm a mother living in this area right now, I'll be concerned. And my child has been going to school in this area
for years.
What can the government do to alleviate my own fear? Or what can I do for myself at this moment with this information that my community is polluted?
So I've told you what the government is doing and what we will continue to do. There's no compromise. I am a medical doctor, so I know the health impacts of air pollution, and I will not rest on my oars and watch children develop asthma unnecessarily. You know, last year, CNN announced for the first time in UK that a young lady died of air pollution. That was the first time they will say cause of death, not secondary to air pollution killed her. They were living in an industrial area, and she's an asthmatic. They fought this battle over and over and over. So right now, we can have air pollution as a cause of death. And why would any responsible government sit back and continue to let that happen? And that is why all the steel industries are not working right now. And then for mothers and children, watch your children. If they show any sign of allergy, running eyes, running nose, or upper respiratory kata, I can't breathe, I'm coughing, immediately take them to the nearest health center. And if it is diagnosed to be as a result of what he is exposed to, please move from that area.
So that's the short-term plan.
That's short-term plan, whilst we continue to monitor and regulate.
And to our question of sensitizing different languages, you are going out.
Yes, and that's why I'm on this show as well, to say that air pollution kills.
So you report your neighbor's generator that is facing your house, and you be sure that you be enforced?
Oh, we have gone into domestic homes to seal generator houses, take away the battery. Because if your exhaust is bad, if you have not serviced, the white man that made generator was not thinking, it didn't make it to pollute the air. So if we use it appropriately, service when necessary, it will not cause air pollution.
We need to sensitize people to service their cars.
That's all we can take. Thank you very much for coming to our show. We're going to bring you back because we're monitoring the work you're doing. And we are concerned about air pollution, plastic pollution, noise pollution, all the pollution. We'll try to see what you can follow up with you, what you're doing, and hope that Nigerians can understand, help you sensitize Nigerians to make sure they clean the environment better. That's all we can take on the show today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.